And all right, I got that view, and I adopted that view from Dr. Miles Monroe. I used to follow him. Unfortunately,
he passed, right?
He did pass in a horrific plane crash. And my mom wasn't always. A lot of people wasn't fond of his teaching. He was a prosperity.
Was
teacher.
he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he died in his own plane, right?
Mm-hmm. With the leader of Bahamas, and it was.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, people felt like that was him. Oh, let me not say that.
What Miles Monroe done
but he said
in your mind that it's going to take us forever to get out.
We were talking about kingdom principles, and he always talked about the kingdom. One of the things he said was, men need to have dreams and visions for their family, for themselves.
Go ahead.
And then, one of the examples he used was, okay, even though your wife is the breadwinner, you say, baby, bring that bacon home to me. Let's go. We're going to put it in this and this and this because I have a vision. This is where the family's going. This is what we're going to be doing. So even though you make the bread, bring it here. We're going to distribute it in this way together as a family.
Okay.
That was it. That was all I was saying.
Yeah. But his correlations didn't really make sense to me. And I'm a critical. Yeah, I'm a critical thinker about, the comedian can still get, we talking about religion and getting to heaven, pumpkin. Don't, you got to give, you can't give me fluffernutter.
Yeah.
Because that I didn't get.
They can't give you fluffernutter. You know how many people are getting fluffernutter every Sunday or just on these, the tweets that you bring up a lot. They take all week to write this perfect tweet and post it. And it's just fluffernutter and a million comments and likes on it. Yeah. And it just makes you feel good for the moment.
To be honest, they literally go to like the local colleges and get creative writers and we ain't going there, but keep on going. So please check your favorite. That's always got the best punchlines and the edited videos that you see, and it's so motivational. Honey, that's in somebody's book or a group of creative, just like Millennial Minded. Welcome to the Millennial Minded Podcast with Marquise and Gia. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking all our videos. This is episode 20.
It's episode 20.
20 videos in. How you feel?
I feel great that I think it's half a year. Or we
just
6 months?
About, yeah. 6 months.
I'm excited that we've been doing this for this long. And I think, we're going to hit a year. I'm excited that we kept going.
Yeah, you see, a relationship can last more than 6 months, long as you don't see nobody more than once a week. This would not happen if we had to see every day.
Every day, woo-wee.
Millennial Minded for episode 20. We are excited to be here for this episode. This is a special episode because it's still Black History Month, and there's a method behind the madness today.
Right. I don't know if you can see the attire. You want to go ahead and show a little something for it?
Come on. I'm dressed for the theme today. I got my natural curls in, hunty. My African earrings.
I see that black eyeliner right there.
Marquise
popping.
Is obsessed with my black eyeliner.
I really am. And the lashes.
Earring, my turtleneck. Because we're about to get into this Judas and the Messiah review.
Yes.
We wanted to look the part. Well, of course I did.
She did.
Of course I'm extra. But y'all know that. Y'all 20 episodes in, y'all already know.
So this will be some spoilers. We agreed that you should have saw it by now. If you didn't, especially if you of African descent. Unfortunately, I did not see it yet, but I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm going to see it tomorrow. You already saw it. And she's gonna give a review. I'm gonna chime in with what I know.
Yeah,
what it's about.
It's about the Black Panthers and Fred Hampton. So some
a lot of people didn't know about Fred Hampton.
Oh well, he was he was a baby when he went. So yeah, short-lived life, but very very efficient.
It'd be your own people, right?
We've been I'm not even going to get into the Millennial Minded podcast with Marquise and Jen and the prophecies that's been coming forth. Thus saith the Lord. But if y'all don't catch on, y'all going to fall off the train.
For real.
We have been, and it's been an honor and a blessing to see that we kind of woke. We ain't superficial.
Yes.
At least not when we have to be.
So we're gonna give you some. We'll give a review of the movie, give some background on that, some history, so you could be informed about it, and you'll see why we just said it'd be your own people, especially when we talk about this movie. And let's get into, I guess, what's trending. What's trending that I saw that is a heartbreaking thing in America right now is the state of Texas and what they're going through in this winter storm that they were not prepared for because, it doesn't really snow in Texas. So people that say, climate change is a joke, I mean, you can really see states that don't get winters are getting winters now. And I saw, I don't know if you saw any pictures, but it was ice freezing and homes, people are losing electricity and power. And from what I saw, the electric companies owned privately.
Yes.
So they can cut it off at their own free will.
Yes.
And then I saw another report, these people are, freezing and no power. But now their electricity bill is $10,000.
What?
That's what I saw on the headline.
Oh, wow.
I didn't actually go and read it. But I saw the headline that people are facing $10,000 electricity.
The state need to cover that.
They should, right?
Yeah. The state need to cover that thing. So, Texas is not the only state that's been in a deep freeze. It's much of the South. But I'm flabbergasted as to how their homes are just crumbling. I know that when we live in different parts of the world, we don't have to use the same structure, the same materials to build the homes. So their homes were not built for this type of weather. Exactly. That's what it seems.
Exactly.
And I'm hearing that they were told to keep their water running to stop the pipes from bursting, from freezing. And in the lieu of keeping the water running, that's when, a lot of pipes wound up bursting anyway. But the houses are crumbling.
Yeah, they don't build it the same way that we do up north, and I don't think it's required to do so.
Oh wow!
And now you see the effect of that. We're doing a real disservice to our planet. We gotta. That's why I'm kind of glad that our president went back into the Paris, the Paris Agreement and stuff like that. Did you see that he went to go? I think he went to Texas or is going to Texas. Did you see his name?
I didn't see him go. I seen that he was sending guards, help, FEMA, aid down to Texas, but it's been a week already.
Jesus, a week? They've been going through this?
It's been about a week, yeah. And Texas got a lot of churches. We are Christians. Those that have tithed and have brought their money into the storehouse. Hopefully, y'all churches are opening up their sites.
Pastor Joe Osteen need to be open. Let people in this time.
TD, did you open? Everybody open up and let y'all people in because they're cold and they're hungry. And the thing is that they stocked up for this. But they stocked up on food that has to be cooked. How you going to cook without any power? And they voluntarily turned off the power to, I guess, preserve it. So it's just y'all told them to stock up. They stocked up, went to Walmart, the shelves are empty, and the food that they bought is rotten because there's no power and there's no gas to cook the food.
You got to buy non-perishable food, canned stuff and stuff like that. Yeah. So our prayers are out for, I guess, the South. I thought it was Texas. But the South, especially, that's going through this deep freeze. And I saw basketball players reaching out to mayors and want to volunteer and send money and aid.
Didn't they? No. Who is Ted Cruz? That beautiful soul was in Cancun, Mexico.
He's getting ripped because of that.
And left his dog, and now y'all ain't even gonna kill him for going to Mexico. Y'all gonna kill him because y'all know y'all love animals more than y'all love people. Some of y'all,
yes.
Y'all killing him because he left his dog in the house and took his daughter to Mexico for what, 12 hours? It was like 12 hours before they was like, if you don't get your back here,
that's a shame.
And sit in the cold like everybody else.
That's wow. That goes to show like they don't care about their people.
He's the one that blocked a lot of the he blocked the $2,000 stimulus in January. He was the Senator Ted Cruz. Shame on you, sir.
Shame on you. That was a good headline you brought up. That's a good one. Because I saw all the late night comedies people and night TV shows. They were getting on him.
Oh, really?
Ragging. Yeah, because that's a sucker move that he just did. A sucker move. They've been ragging on him all. Leave your people like that. All right, let's get into some comments.
Okay.
One from Uncle left a lot of comments. Actually, one girl on Instagram.
Okay.
I used to go to play with her brother a lot. He played bass. I played. Shout out to Rasheen if you're watching this.
Oh, I remember Rasheen.
Yeah. His sister,
Jamaican, right?
Jamaican, yeah. Rastaman. His sister said something about there's different ways to pray to God, but there's only one way to heaven, that is through the Lord Jesus Christ. And on YouTube, one commenter said, "Listen, Muslims love Jesus as well." And he brought up 6 things you didn't know about Jesus and Islam, but Muslims don't believe Jesus was the Son of God.
Yeah, that's it.
But they do revere him as a holy prophet. So we are aware of that. He broke down a lot of stuff in the comment. It's lengthy, so I won't read it. He broke down a lot of stuff, but basically he says, so although Muslims do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God, a critically important distinction between Muslim and Christian views of him, Muslims do revere Jesus as an important prophet. Okay, and
but not the Messiah and not the Son of God.
Right. I don't even know. I don't know. You could ask. Fact check this. I don't know if they believe that he died on the cross as well.
The Muslims?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they believe that part of it. My mother left a good one, a lengthy one as well. Another great podcast. Please read my entire comment about a woman raising a male child to be a man.
Oh, okay.
Want me to read? I agree. We need more African American teachers / professors. Marquise, you're a great teacher as well. Are you planning to go back to school to help change the curriculum? I'm going to leave that to Gia because she's already in there in that vicinity. She can make great changes. She said you presented a great history lesson on the last podcast. I did hear about the young girl on the bus in NAACP. Okay, Claudette Colvin. Okay. Well, then she said women have always been oppressed. That's why the Me Too movement is great. Marquise, I agree with you. Justin should have stood up for Janet back then. And Gia, we're all sisters. We need to stick up for each other. She liked the part we brought up about Steve Harvey. And then she said, I would never use your podcast to read or throw shade at anyone. So she did not read anybody.
Well, she kind of got on me because I was kind of my head when we brought up the Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and Janae. Shout out to Janae.
What happened?
She be on the podcast as soon as it come out. I love you, Nay. I was just listening to Marquise announce that Justin Timberlake issued this apology, and because of my mind was on Black History Month and facts, and I thought his apology was more geared to being like a bad boyfriend at Britney Spears, I immediately cut him off like, I don't care what he did to Britney Spears. I only care about his apology to Janet Jackson. My aunt called me like, how insensitive was that? I was like, Britney Spears ain't the only one that got her heart broken because she got it broken by Justin Timberlake. But now I see that it was like they like sexualized her and like,
Well, did she not sexualize herself as well in those videos and stuff? I'm sure. I used to look at Britney Spears. I used to look at MTV back in the day.
But you want everybody to believe that, like, you just this holy version and like he just soured your name, but you got a snake running through your legs and all that. Come on, girl. Ain't nobody got time for that. So that's why my response was that way.
So I get that. I get
but
that.
Auntie Janet, I was happy that he
Apologized to her.
Yes.
But he didn't stand up for her when he should have in hindsight. But I guess, he has the answer for that. So she said, oh, Lord, she got Marquise. If I was insecure as a woman and mother, I would be offended and hurt by your comment that you disagree a woman could raise a male child to be a man.
Okay.
I have known lots of men in my life. I respect, love, and like the man you are and becoming. I also know, what God has said about you. I still believe as you continue to mature. But every male is not a man, just as every female is not a woman. When Nehemiah, my nephew, who knows you from his childhood, can look up to you and respect you, man, please, I did a great job with God's help, of course.
You better go ahead.
You owe me. In the bonus podcast, my brother, he clearly stated my sister did a great job with you. You owe me an apology on air, and I'll be waiting to hear it.
Let me sit back.
Did I say I disagreed? Okay. I believe my mom did a great job. A tremendous job by herself as a single mother. And, she went through what she went through and had to overcome a lot of things. So I am grateful for all the things that she taught me and helped in raising me. I believe what I was saying was there's certain things she could not teach me. And I believe they come from hearing it from a male. Or even if she did try to teach me some things, I didn't receive it as I would have receiving it from a male's perspective, from a man's voice. So I believe you. I know you did an awesome job raising me. Just some things I feel like a man can only teach. I don't ask me to say what those things are, but at the moment, but there's some things that you have to get from a man. That's my belief. You disagree with that?
I do not disagree, nor do I have an opinion. She asked for an apology though, so come on.
What did I? Okay, I don't even know what I'm apologizing for.
Well, just apologize. Come on.
Mother, I'm sorry. Whatever it was that I did that it may have caused you to be offended, I apologize on air right now. I know that you did an amazing job by yourself and what you instilled in me and all the godly views and just raising me. There's just some things I feel a man has to be able to teach. So that's all.
And I don't disagree with that.
Okay. I will agree. You may have missed out on some things by not being raised in a 2-parent household. But the core of who you are as a man, I am proud of.
Listen, let me give you the Reader's Digest of what she's saying. Okay, yeah, you are who you are because of your mother. Basically, that's it. Period, point blank. Now argue that.
I ain't gonna argue that. I got no argument in that one. Uncle Salim said concerning the Haitian Revolution, we should read a book called The Irritated Genie. I forget the author. In terms of Steve Harvey, for many people, that's their belief that there's more than one way to get to heaven. Mm-hmm. Not for us Christians, and I strongly would have fact-checked whether he's in the Middle East talking about mixing Islam and Christianity. I agree on that part. Mm-hmm. I think when I was talking about it, I was saying that he's over there doing that, and I shouldn't have said that. I don't know if he's over there starting a religion.
No.
Right.
That's not what you said.
I may have alluded to something like that.
He was in Dubai.
But he was in Dubai. He was there.
I was saying, and that's where they was influencing him on how to. Because I went back and watched it, and when he got here, But his correlations didn't really make sense to me. And I'm a critical. Yeah, I'm a critical thinker about the comedian can still get. We talking about religion and getting to heaven, pumpkin. Mm-hmm. Don't you got to give. You can't give me fluffernutter.
Yeah.
Because that I didn't get.
They can't give you fluffernutter. You know how many people are getting fluffernutter every Sunday or just on these the tweets that you bring up a lot. They take all week to write this perfect tweet and post it, and it's just fluffernutter and a million comments and likes on it. Yeah, and it just makes you feel good for the moment.
To be honest, they literally go to like the local colleges and get creative writers. And we ain't going there, but keep on going. So please check your favorite. That's always got the best punchlines and the edited videos that you see, and it's so motivational. Honey, that's in somebody's book or a group of creative, just like your favorite musician. That song, that it's a group of writers that sat around for 24 hours to come.
Gia, wow, that makes sense. That's why it's so.
If it makes sense, it's true.
That's why it's so powerful. Like,
I'm a writer. Like I, when we have to get together and write something creatively in a group in school,
it's amazing, right?
The things that we come up with is because we sit and explore. But now you take that into different aspects, and now you can just put it on Instagram as a 5-minute inspirational video, or you can take it to an hour-long message on a Sunday morning, or you can put it in a newspaper article.
Wow. Now, wait, you just inspired me though, because
come on,
I personally like writing alone. So if I'm writing a song and stuff like that, I don't particularly like collaborating. Like I got to hit up to create a single for someone that was in the church world. She has a producer, but they're looking for a kind of like a nice song for their first single in the secular world. So I'm trying to reach out. We're trying to communicate and get into her mind and all that, what she wants. I like doing that alone. I don't like collaborating and writing with other people.
Some musicians can, but
what you just said just inspired me, because imagine collaborating with a bunch of writers. What kind of song can you create coming together? What kind of possibilities can you explore?
Come on, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and just groups of Babyface is a single really good writer. But he did have writers with him as well. So it just
I guess
and it
certain
goes
songs
from
I should collab and.
It stems from speeches, from journal articles, from everything, from the latest inauguration. That speech was written by a group of creative writers.
Dad, I take pride in writing by myself.
You know how much money I would get for writing for you? Are you kidding me?
I should put myself out there. I can write. That's a great.
You know how many biographies y'all done read of your favorite artists? How many biographies? How many books that y'all have read on your favorite artists? They ain't sit and write 359 pages. They hire writers. They just told the story and the writer.
Does that make you less? I'm thinking musical right now. Does that make you less of a musician that you don't write your own?
That's like a TV producer or a movie producer or a director. All of them credits that come at the end of that movie. That's all. All them people got paid to do what they was doing. So when you see where that direction and that screenplay and this all went, and the bottom of your journal article or the newspaper, they cite that source because they know it. Write it.
Gee, mix. All right. Prince is like a guy that will write his own stuff. That's it. Michael will have a bunch of people writing for him, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that he didn't write alone, but I don't know. I'm mixed. I feel like I can do a lot. I don't know. I have pride in, like, if I wrote a movie or a script, I take pride in it. It's Marquise Duai that wrote all that. I take pride in that. Okay. But the possibilities could be even better. A better script. Collaborating with people.
Of course, you have to collaborate with people. You got to work. You can work autonomously. Yes, you can, and be just as creative. Because a lot of things that I do on my mind is just always thinking creatively and critically about things. But when I allow other people to come, because I'm a control freak. I said I wanted it this way. Don't change. My sentence don't change. I don't even like what my professors say. I think you should add this to your paper. I didn't want that in my paper. That's why.
That's why I ain't add it.
But no, if you collaborate with people, like-minded people, you'll come out and you draw from each other. So, But
yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try writing with somebody.
You can't write with me.
We did try to write. We did write
you
a little song.
Me.
We did write a song. We did write part of a song together after a podcast. And it was pretty dope.
You wrote His Grace by yourself, right?
Yeah. I wrote Thank You for Your Grace. I'm gonna put that in a link. Thank you for reminding me in the description. I did write that by myself. I wrote Broke Us Apart by myself. I do take pride in doing that.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I like to be like
you're
Prince.
Gonna have to give other people the credit though. I mean, you're not a hog to wear you. But.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know. It's just certain feeling or pride thing. Like I wrote all this.
What
John Mayer's like that.
Writing for people though.
That's what this first single. Yeah, I would love to do that. Write for other people.
That would be nice.
And then adding collaborative, like you and me writing the song for other people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That would be cool.
But
how do I get out there to write for other people? I'm doing one. I'm already doing one, but I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Put it in your title.
Put it in my. Yeah. You're right.
Singer-songwriter. When you hear your singer, you usually hear singer-songwriter, not just singer or singer-musician.
I think that's in my title, but I need more songs out. That's another procrastination issue that I deal with. I'm not putting out more music and more material. Uncle William said, "This is for you, dear, to research. You'll talk about Haiti possibly being Levites. So, what is your opinion of voodoo and how far back can you trace Christianity?" In the continent. Actually, you responded.
Of course I responded.
From what I know, Christianity...
You can't at me and not... Go ahead.
From what I know, Christianity was brought into Africa by the Europeans in the 15th century. And he said West and Central Africa to be precise.
Yes.
Okay. Which is...
And voodoo was still a religion that a lot of people practice, and that goes back to our roots in Africa as well. So we know that... the majority of Africans are not Christians.
Right.
So actually, majority of them was Muslims.
Was Muslim, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a kind of Muslim continent, Islamic continent. Okay, so you said, whose decision was it to leave me out of the chat? Anyway, I enjoyed this bonus episode, and I was definitely proud. You did well, Uncle Salim.
Let's get into that bonus episode that was released last week without the beauty of my presence. But I enjoyed it. It was long. I enjoyed it. Marquise can't talk to me for 2 hours, but he sat and talked to his uncle for 2 hours. So progression. But I did enjoy it. Marquise hasn't had the pleasure of being around Uncle Salim as much as his other nieces and nephews.
Yes, that's true.
But to be honest, there was a part in my sisters and our lives where we actually had to live with him for like 8 months. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, he opened up his door, we had somewhere to live with while my mother, figured some things out. I always respect him for that. And just to see him evolving as a man, because if you don't know, my uncle dabbled in a whole bunch of different religion. I remember him being Buddhist. I remember him being Afrocentric. I remember him being a Muslim. And now that I see, the just Christ all over him, it's really good to see. And I think he dropped some good wisdom, some good jewels, and he's always been family oriented.
For real.
So, we haven't, had the best, but you got to think about the people in your life, because as a woman, you can't necessarily send 3 daughters to live with just any uncle. And I had that uncle that you can send, that I was able to live with my uncle, and nothing was perfect, but the fact that, we were safe, we were secure, and, we didn't have to think about a lot of things that other young girls think about when you living in somebody else's house because we came from a single mother household, so we never experienced living with a man and how men do things and how men don't tolerate kids talking back a whole lot. So we learned that pretty early with Uncle Salim. But other than that, nothing was perfect, but just my uncle, I thought it was a really good episode, and I love how family oriented he is.
He really is family oriented. I want to try to do that as well. Oh, you said thank you for dropping some jewels and your wisdom. At Marquise, did you say that if a woman is the breadwinner, that she should bring her paycheck to her husband for them to sort out together because he is still the man of the house?
Answer my question. Don't give me no background. Did you say it? Yes or no?
I did say that.
See, I'm going for one episode, and here he go. You sit down with your uncle for 2 hours for one episode, and everything that I done taught you, I should pluck him. Everything that you done digress. I'm listening like, wait, let me run this back. Did Marquise say, well, yeah, she the breadwinner. She need to bring that check home. I was like, I should.
Okay, clearly I feel that you disagree with that.
You feel it? You gonna feel it for real. I should have plucked him. I was like, well, we made so much progression, Marquise. Why?
I'm for women and women rights and, against women oppression. I just feel like as the man, all right, I got that view and I adopted that view from Dr. Miles Monroe. I used to follow him. Unfortunately,
he passed, right?
He did pass in a horrific plane crash. And my mom wasn't always, a lot of people wasn't fond of his teaching. He was a prosperity
Was
teacher.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He died in his own plane, right?
Mm-hmm. With the leader of Bahamas, and it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. People felt like that was him. Oh, let me not say that.
What Miles Monroe done
but he said
in your mind that it's going to take us forever to get out.
We were talking about kingdom principles, and he always talked about the kingdom. One of the things he said was men need to have dreams and visions for their family, for themselves.
Go ahead.
And then, one examples he used was, okay, even though your wife is the breadwinner, you say, baby, bring that bacon home to me. Let's go. We're going to put it in this and this and this because I have a vision. This is where the family's going. This is what we're going to be doing. So even though you make the bread, bring it here. We're going to distribute it in this way together as a family.
Okay.
That was it. That was all I was saying. Bring it back home to the husband. Okay, baby, we're going to pay this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to put this away. We're going to save this part. We're going to put that, invest that part. Collectively. That's all I was saying. Please don't kill me. Please don't beat me. With that understanding, do you disagree? I
disagree. I ain't getting into that. Miles Monroe is up there enjoying Jesus. Yeah. I ain't putting nothing on his name. I just disagree with that concept.
Okay, you feel whatever she make, that's her money.
No, it's theirs. But I'm not necessarily. I don't have to include you in everything that I bring.
So you're not having a joint account and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're going to have a joint account.
But you're going to have your own thing on the side.
Marquise, you know I ain't found my husband yet, and you making me answer questions that's going to make him question you. You're going to find that out.
So you got your own account?
It's going to be a secret account somewhere, baby. I can tell you that now. I ain't bringing everything into the storehouse.
Oh, Lord. Last comment, I enjoyed the mail talk. Brother, you looking good. I would prefer if you both use the name The Gift Box.
The Gift Box.
Oh, he had mentioned if your best, what would you think about that? If you have a male best friend, he said coochie.
He did.
If you offer him the gift box.
And he should be insulted.
Yes.
That you offered it. I thought that was an excellent perspective.
Too. I ain't never thought of that.
I wouldn't put myself out there to offer it though, just to get a reaction from him, because men are so literal. It was like, no, I was testing you. He was like, no, you really insulted me by like, if I got to do that to test whether you
really,
it wouldn't be for me. But I love that concept.
Me too. Marquise, you shouldn't be telling house business on air. I would say you have helped me with understanding parts of the Bible. But let me clarify. I stated I can see what being said about women preachers. I did not say I agree with it. I believe the pastor is teaching the letter of the word and missing the spirit of what God is saying.
What was that in reference to?
See, that's the thing. I never said what it was.
Oh, okay.
But it was in reference to women's preachers.
Oh, okay.
Her perspective on it was but let me not talk about on the air. Okay. It is unfortunate that our men were not in their rightful place for many reasons. As women, we had no choice but to step up. I think you're talking about women preaching again. Okay. Thanks, brother, for saying I did a great job raising my son to be a man. Yes, I agree. It takes a strong man to appreciate a strong woman. Okay. And we talked about Uncle Wiley. She said, I agree. Uncle Wiley was one of the best men I have ever known. Mm-hmm. Which is, I don't know. You got to sit with him too. Yeah, we all went to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he did it, but he is epitome of man to me. And the second one would be Uncle Salim. And as far as family is concerned, I say his man. But that was it. That was
comments from the last two episodes, because it was a combined from the Chrislam thing with episode 18 and the episode 19 and the bonus episode with Uncle Salim. Yeah. So
a lot of people didn't know about Steve Harvey and that Chrislam thing.
I didn't until you. I mean, I didn't read into it until you told us.
But there's only one way, and that is through Christ Jesus. That's it. So let's get into
Judas.
Is it Judas and the Black Messiah?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay. What is it about? I did not watch it yet. I'm going to sign up for HBO Max probably tonight, tomorrow. And I'm going to thoroughly watch that movie and then cancel my subscription before that free day trial is over. However, I heard it's a great movie. I heard it's going to make you people upset.
I heard a couple of people, I am a revolutionary. So I get it. I mean, it stirred some feathers, but it stirred feathers with me with more about the government and the FBI.
J. Edgar Hoover is a man that was in charge of the FBI for some time, or maybe even helped start it up. And he had a big
agenda.
Very good, against black people, and he felt that they were terrorists, politically activists.
Yes,
that were African American, and I mean he planted devices and spied on them and did all types of horrible things. Bombs, everything. Dr. King, Malcolm X, you name it, he was part of it, and he did not want to see these brothers make change. So he was totally against it, and that's our government.
That's the government
that puts
the feds.
That also put drugs in the communities and stuff like that. The American government. So maybe you can see why we don't trust the government.
Why we have such issues with the police and the government, and just because we have always been not only when we stand up, but the majority of the time when we stand up, when we come together, it doesn't matter what coalition it may be. Yeah. Because it was the Black Panthers that they went after, then it was the Nation of Islam with Malcolm X that they went after, and it was also the Christian the nonviolent Martin Luther King. Like they phone tapped everybody at that point. Anybody that was black and was coming together, they were a target and they were deemed a threat to America. And so with Judas and the Black Messiah, it is a movie, but it's basically a documentary of Fred Hampton's life. Like everything that happened really happened. His wife is still living today. His son is still living, and they actually got to meet with the wife and the son, and they gave it from all of their perspectives. And a lot of the things that happened in the movie it seems shocking, but it was real. Like Fred Hampton really went to jail. Was sentenced for 2 to 5 years for $71 worth of ice cream.
Oh my God.
71. He was feeding the Black Panthers in Chicago. Was starting a breakfast program, and they were feeding thousands of children in Chicago every morning. And
that's amazing. The Black Panthers as a whole, there's not like this terrorist group that are extremists. I believe they came together to protect their black people against police. Right. So it was like cop watching, and
yes,
it
was.
And they were open carry.
They were. That's the whole thing. It was so many shootouts because they were open carry.
I love it.
They were open carry. Yeah. So it was just like you see the Black Panthers with guns, and you automatically think that they're like this gang group. No, that's a constitutional right of theirs to carry. And at that time, it was an open state to carry. So
was it California with their open state?
California.
That's why the gun laws I think are so rough now because brothers was openly carrying guns, and they had this
cop draw theirs, they draw theirs back. What are you drawing your gun for? What are you drawing your gun for? Like they were at the point to where they saw that it wasn't working with Malcolm's approach. It wasn't working with Martin Luther King's approach, and so they were kind of in the middle. And what happened is it was like the Rainbow Coalition that really became a threat, because when the Black Panthers in Chicago started to reach out to, the Puerto Ricans and some of the disadvantaged whites and different groups, and they started to come together, that's when they was like, we have to neutralize them.
And they were in United Kingdom, they were in England, they were in Algeria, they were going internationally as well. They were going
everywhere.
Trying to protect people
and become a political party.
What?
They had newspapers out. They were building treatment centers and healthcare centers,
feeding the community. You just said,
feeding the community, and a lot of things that they got backlash for was, at that time, a lot of our African American brothers and sisters were like joining the army, so they was doing stuff like nope. Don't sign up for no Korean War.
Yeah,
don't sign up for war. Like they was like, no, we're not fighting until we can get justice in this country. You as an African American, don't sign up for the army. So they had newspapers, and they were reaching a lot of people, and they weren't government funded. So they were locally on their own. They did it all on their own. They were locally funded. They fed their own kids. They got their own EKG machines. Just things that the community needed.
Wow, you see how powerful we talked about Tower of Babel, speaking the same language, coming together. When you unify together, what kind of a difference you can make. You can start a political party, which is what we need now. It shouldn't be just Democratic and Republican.
Yeah.
It should really be a third party, which is what the founding fathers wanted it to be. They didn't want it to be a two-party system. And just coming together, they were able to. That's so inspiring. I said that before, and maybe one of the older episodes. We need we need our own party.
Yes, you did.
We need our own party, and it ain't too late. Can you imagine if all the Latinos and brothers and we all came together? These are the things that we want to fix. These are things that we want to do. Let's make a plan. Let's strategize. Let's mobilize, as Killer Mike would say, and then execute on them. They can't touch us. We're funding it ourselves. They can't control us. They probably phone tap us and all that stuff.
They'll phone tap us, but that's when the FBI will be after us. The FBI literally, the government comes as soon as you start talking a political party. You can talk about, I am a revolutionary all you want to, but when you start bringing people together and affecting the politics and the lawmakers and law change, now it's a threat. So, now they're violent. Now they're this. Now they're that. So, and
they weren't. They were just coming together. That's so people that have this stigma, which I was one back in the day, that the Black Panthers were like this bad. They shoot them up, all that. When you understand the history, they were doing this to protect their people from the injustices done by the government and the police department. And then to know all the things that they were giving back to the communities, they were just trying to do good and take care of their own.
But they were not no nonsense. They were not. It wasn't no yes sir, no sir. How we're taught to be humble when the cops are coming and and not that they were necessarily combative, but the cops usually didn't come in peace at that time. Right. So they were met. If you had violence, you were met with violence, because these are African Americans that began to be less scared of the presence of cops, and they stood up for themselves. So it was different. Now, the tactics of the government and the FBI never changes. Every time that they had they raided him while he was feeding the kids in the morning. So they kind of dehumanized him, to lock him up in the middle of him making breakfast and the kids are sitting there. These are things that really happened. He was a young man, right? And he was only 21 years old when he was assassinated. He was 21 years old. But the reason he was assassinated is because
it'd be your own people.
Mr. O'Neill, he took his own life. But
I mean, I say you have to, but how do you live with that?
Mr. O'Neill, the
FBI informant.
The FBI. Now let's get this clear, because we're African American, and I do come from an African American community.
Mm-hmm. Newark.
So
N-O-R-K.
Newark, New Jersey. There is a difference between a rat/snitch and an FBI informant.
Oh. Okay, wait, rat and snitch is the same?
Basically, me and you go rob somebody's house together. Mm-hmm. We both get caught, and I say it was all Marquise's idea to get a lesser sentence or penalty, or I can just say I knew Marquise and Gia was going to go rob somebody's, and this is what they did. What can you get from me? Instead of me being a co-conspirator, I'm now a rat or a snitch because I knew about it. I'm a part of our gang, I'm a part of the affiliation. An FBI informant is usually a hired person that comes in and they get incentives off the bat. They don't usually they threaten with jail time, but they usually get paid.
I believe the O'Neill brother got paid, right?
Oh, he wound up they got him a gas station at what it says in the movie, and $200,000. But the fact that he made out the plan he orchestrated or constructed the layout of Fred Hampton's apartment so that they knew exactly where he would be when they did the raid. He was given $300 for that. So he wound up. And that's the only thing that he agrees that he was an FBI informant, but he thinks that he also made a difference in the Black Party, the party of the Black Panther. So it was like, I was working for the FBI, I was the informant, but I was out there on the streets too. I was out there, and it was like, no,
man, you got a 21-year-old killed.
21-year-old, and you got $300 for it. The only thing that this FBI informant contests is that he said he did not drug him. Wow. So, but in the movie, what you will see is that they gave O'Neill a little concoction, barbiturates, and they said, put this in his drink so that when we raid, he'll be already, because they had that option to carry. So when we raid, he'll be asleep and like we can get in there easily. That's the only thing he said he didn't do. He said, I did not drug his drink. But they wound up finding out later on in an autopsy that he had barbiturates in his system. So he was drugged, and he was asleep when they assassinated him.
With his family, right?
With his 8-month pregnant wife.
How do you do that to someone? Right, raid their house while they're sleeping, kill them right in front of the wife while she's pregnant. Hoover. Our government did this to a brother just trying to mobilize a community together. So how do you trust the government after that? And I believe a lot of people, not just black, don't trust the government, don't trust what they're saying, what they're doing when they go to the Middle East and weapons of mass destruction. How this government has proven to be, unfaithful, untruthful,
and they're still doing it. They still doing. But Breonna Taylor was killed last year, and no knock warrant. Y'all are still doing this. Y'all still have the same tactics, and you see why we feel the way we feel about the government and the police. We're still fighting it. They were fighting against the police since forever, and just think about the 1969 killing or assassination of Fred Hampton. They no knock warrant. They fired 99 shots, machine guns. I thought the cops wasn't allowed to have machine guns. It was a machine gun. Why do you need
99 rounds?
99 rounds was recovered from that house. 99, and it was one shot because they said Fred Hampton and another guy was killed, and the guy that was killed was the one that was able to release one shot. He did release one shot, but they had like a no-knock warrant, so it was just like people coming in, and he had
security guards around him or something. Fred Hampton.
He had people sleeping in other rooms because remember they was the Black Panther Party, so a lot of them they stayed together. So it was other people. A lot other people was injured, and a couple of other people was injured. A lot of them was shot while they were sleeping. 4 o'clock in the morning.
In Chicago?
In Chicago, the west side of Chicago. His house is still standing. His wife is still living. His son is now ahead of a different party, but associated with the Black Panthers. But he was a 21-year-old revolutionary and he wasn't the only one. There were there were Black Party sectors created, like you said, all over. Yeah. But the FBI planted informants in all of them.
Your own people. It'd be your own people.
So as far as when it comes to the performance of the movie was stellar. Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield and Deborah Johnson, I think, are their names. They gave a really good performance. They told the story authentically. It did make you think. It did ignite some things. I guess when you see things happening to your own people, of course, it will, ignite some things that didn't make me want to get out there and do anything to a cop. But it did have me thinking about when Black people go into law enforcement.
Okay, what's your thoughts? I feel like it was an honorable thing at one point in time to be a police officer. I love a man in uniform,
but after watching Judas and the Black Messiah, I don't want to see no black cop right now because they try to make you separate. It's like you're not black and you're not white, you're blue.
And you can't.
No,
I'm black man first.
You're a black man first. You're a black woman first.
Yeah.
And the blue comes. You take that blue on and off. You don't take your white or your black on and off. And I think there's some people that are in law enforcement that instead of taking the blue on and off, they take the black on and off.
I know,
and it's just like you standing around watching things that happens and you're so scared to speak up because of your blue uniform. And it's just like your blue uniform meant nothing 50 years ago. You wasn't even allowed to wear that uniform 50 years ago.
Exactly.
I think people that police in our community need to look a lot more like us.
So you do feel like in Newark or inner city communities that there should be our people in those uniforms.
And I think in suburban communities, go ahead and put your black brothers in those suburban, because I live in a suburban community. I haven't seen an African American cop yet. I think it's like 3 cop cars in my whole community, but
I don't think you're gonna see that.
Let people.
I don't even think there's any black cops in Clark, New Jersey.
I live right next to Clark.
I don't go to Clark, New Jersey at all. Every time I see someone pulled over going around that bend, that round circle in Clark and Linden, is a black person. Every time they are known to be like really prejudiced against not some of the people if you read the comments in the paper or NJ.com of residents that live there, they're like, this is bull. Like, why are they always doing this, harassing black people and stuff? Not so much. It's just there's a couple of idiots out there that still think the way that they think, but most of them are progressive and not thinking that way. But I feel like if we were black people in uniform, we should be able to make hopefully a systemic change in the uniform, because you're working with those people, you're out in the streets, you're out in those communities. Some of it is dangerous, but you're not co-signing with injustices happening.
Yes.
And you're speaking up against it. And a lot of times they're not speaking up when they see stuff happen. They let the person kneel on them for however long, 8 minutes it was, or whatever the case may be, and say nothing. So that's, if you're going to put on that uniform, be black first Stand up for, your people.
Just for what's right.
What's right.
If
not even your people.
If there's a criminal that you have to physically or violently take down,
you do your job.
You do your job. We're not telling you not to do your job, but you got to understand the history that comes behind being pulled over with that uniform on or with them sirens on. Them sirens meant death for a lot of our ancestors. So, and that stuff triggers. There's some people that the N-word still triggers. And I often think to myself, if I was called N-word, am I strong enough to say, that don't define me? My ancestors going to make me slap the out of somebody.
Yeah.
But then the woman that I am today, like, you ain't hurting me by calling me that. I would be confused.
I don't know. I feel like that would trigger me. Like I would want to punch someone in it.
See, somebody that's like, non-violent, like he and I, because, I call him Brother Malcolm, which I need to monetize off that name for you. I call him Brother Malcolm, but you had a very Martin Luther King approach to life.
Yes.
So him and I being in between, even that word triggers us. Now, I'm not scared to be pulled over by the cops because I know.
I am. I hate it. I hate that feeling. I hate being.
And you're a law-abiding citizen.
I know, but it's sad. But it's sad because I am a law-abiding citizen. But that fear when a cop is behind me, I'm like going to the next lane.
No. Now I get it because when I'm in a car with my son, it's different.
Yeah.
When I'm in a car with my son, it's just like, it's different. But me as by myself, either they're going to pull me over if I was speeding. And I'm not combative, but, I know how to talk and I know how to, listen. And I already know what their agenda is. So I know how to protect myself. But when I'm in a car with my son, it is
you get extra
it's
protective.
Different. Yeah. It is different. So I like the movie. I encourage everybody to go see the movie, but I also encourage you to read up on the history of the Black Panthers. Read up on the history. Fred Hampton was 21. He was a year older than my son. He was 21 years old.
Yeah.
And he was just the chairman of the Chicago sector. You hear Huey Newton like in Oakland and, different leaders all over. But in that particular one, he was deemed the most threatening.
A 21-year-old.
A 21-year-old that started to bring the community together. And I just don't think they would have been able to assassinate him the way that he did without that informant.
O'Neal, your own people. And he said he took his life?
The date Eyes on the Prize came out about, Fred Hampton's life and the Black Panther Party, and the day that it aired, that night, I think he took his life in like 91 or something like that.
1991?
91 or wow. I know it wasn't in the 70s or 80s, so it was between.
So he lived. So he
lived.
Oh, wow.
And lived.
How did he live with
$200,000. He was they got him his own business and everything. So he lived high on the hog. But the day that it was released and he saw what he did on TV, that night he killed himself.
So wait. So the FBI. Wow. So look how the government did. They used him and then put him in. When it was time to air a special, they put him in there. And throw them out there.
Yeah, they get. You know how they have background footage of you talking, like interviewing, corroborating. So he was just like, at that time, I didn't think anything I was doing was wrong. He actually thought he was working for the FBI. I know they worked you to kill a man
and played you at the end.
Yeah,
said, hey, he's a snitch.
That's what he didn't get it in his mind. But again, he wasn't a part of the party when it started. He was hired into it. He was a car thief that, in order to
So he had a criminal background.
He had a criminal background. He got locked up for impersonating a cop for trying to steal a car. And they was like, listen, we're going to give you either 8 to 10 years or
work for us.
Go into the Black Party, the Black Panther Party and become an informant. And so the movie is true. The documentary is true. You can also read up on it. You can also read on, look at, I think it's called Eyes on the Prize. Okay. It's a 2-part series that talks about it. And I just like how true they stood to the story, no matter how uncomfortable it was. Because when you see it, you see a black man being killed in his sleep next to his 8-month pregnant wife. And that's how they killed him, in his sleep.
So shout out to those actors, like you said. I know Daniel is English.
Lakeith Stansfield, the guy that played the informant, he said that after the movie was over, he had to go get therapy.
Oh,
he had to get therapy because playing that role, and he really played the role. Mm-hmm. Playing that role did such torment to his mental health. He had to go seek therapy after that. Wow,
that's serious. That is serious. So shout out to them for that portrayal of that movie. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully tonight or tomorrow. Did you see Dave Chappelle? So Dave Chappelle had said something about Colin Kaepernick. So he's like, the world wasn't ready. A lot of people were seeing now that the world wasn't ready for Colin Kaepernick when he made his stand or took a kneel. Mm-hmm. And he said, look at the hypocrisy of it. He took a kneel for police brutality, and in the American flag, and those same people that stormed the Capitol used the American flag to beat up cops with it. Mm-hmm. And people like, leave it to Dave Chappelle to sum it up perfectly. The hypocrisy of it was never about the flag. They just didn't want Kaepernick to do what he was doing.
Yeah.
So this country, I don't know. We are in turmoil, divided, and I don't know. I personally want to leave the country, but
where you gonna go? We live in a free country. People are still dying to come here. I would be an expat, but I don't think I would actually
go to
leave
Africa or
America. I love Africa, but there's some laws and some injustices in Africa that I ain't gonna be able to get with.
I get it. It's a free country. I don't know, Gia. The thing that they do to us because of the color of our skin is crazy, and I don't know how severe. Like, I know racism is everywhere.
It is,
but do they kill people in London for being black? Are they shooting you up? They might. I don't even think they have guns. The cops mostly don't have guns, so I don't know.
They stab a lot.
They stab a lot in London.
Stab a lot.
Like, I don't know if black people are being killed. They may still feel racism. Mm-hmm. But they're not losing their life over it like they do here in America.
Mm-hmm. And Europe is smaller than America. So I think we have a magnifying glass on certain parts. Like Texas is like, Texas alone, that state like is just as big as half of the UK. So it's... And a lot of the UK is like a melting pot as well. So in Europe,
there's a lot of black people,
but a lot of Indians, a lot of Asians that they come there. In Canada, no
black people.
I mean, there is, but you don't really hear about the way because their tactics are different. I think we got into that some episodes ago. Like, a lot of them don't carry guns. You can only carry a baton. So
exactly.
Yeah, we America is like the center of attention when it comes to stuff like that. So there is but it's happening everywhere, and we killing each other in Africa as well. So I think it's the mind of people in power. Either you low in poverty and you're doing what you got to do to survive, or you have all of this power and you don't want to lose it, and you're doing what you do to survive. So we don't have that balance anywhere.
Nowhere.
Not
even in Africa. Not even the Caribbean countries, islands.
Use your platform, whatever your platform is. This is our platform, and of course we have other platforms to just create awareness so that people can see what's going on. Because there's people that watch this channel, our podcast, and they was like, oh, I didn't know certain Black history facts, or I wanted to speak out against this, and I wanted to speak out against that, and they never really had the chance, or nobody really opened them up to the conversation. And so it's just like, whatever platform you have to use, I would highly suggest that you use it. Now, we talked a lot about the FBI today. Marquise and I pay our taxes. Don't come for us. We just like the movie. We just see that y'all Y'all, nothing is new with how y'all handle us. Yes. So if you don't like what we saying, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
I'm sure you're listening right now. I'm sure
we are not a threat.
Yes, right.
We are revolutionary.
Amen. Yep.
We are revolutionaries, but you cannot hold us from getting this information about where we come from, and this is our reality. And because these are some of the things that our children are going to have to deal with, it's up to us to educate them, because y'all not putting it in y'all books that y'all assassinated.
Sure not. Nope.
Fred Hampton.
Yeah, not putting that in. Wow, we didn't learn that in high school. I'd never heard of Fred Hampton in school. No, never, dude. Wow. It would even in your high school. Because it's more like
Malcolm X Shabazz.
They didn't teach that.
No, they didn't teach Black history in our high school. It was just a history course and civilization and stuff like that.
You see what I'm saying? You're not putting it in the everything. You're not putting the truth in these history books that you're teaching these generations to come. But because of, I guess, Google and just being woke.
Oh no, because of investigation. So we only know about Fred Hampton because y'all wrote about it. Y'all remember all of those, devices that y'all used to track them? Mm-hmm. We only know about it because of y'all. Because a lot of people wouldn't take the word of his wife and say that.
Yeah.
So y'all did and they wound up having to pay $1.8 million to the families of everybody that was wounded in that house. Mm-hmm.
Good.
It took them 13 years, like almost 15 years for them to get anything, or maybe even longer. But they initially sued for like $20 million, the government, and y'all settled for,
Wow. But you got to split that up with all those people in there.
People that were injured.
Hopefully it was something, but not nearly enough.
Nothing.
For taking someone's life, man.
And we still see y'all settling for the Breonna Taylor case, for her dying. It's just, we said a couple of episodes ago, if you are not careful or not caught up on your history, it will repeat itself.
Yes.
So now what party we have now that's a threat? What party we have now that Black Lives Matter? Now they're a threat.
Yeah, they're extremists or a terrorist group, whatever the case may be. Wow. Yeah. We need to.
Anytime we come together, we are deemed a threat.
It's a sad thing. So listen, thank you for the movie review. Please go back and continue to learn history, not just Black history. Learn history and what really transpired in America, and from way back in civilization to Columbus that they lied to us about and said he was this great man, to even now we're talking about Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party. They weren't an extremist terrorist group. They were actually good people trying to take care of their own, because no one else would do it, and they can't rely on the government to do so. And we still can't rely on the government to do so now. So we got to do it together, unify together, own our own stuff. Can you believe that? Owning our own printing press and our own newspapers, like the Nation Islam does that.
Programs,
we can make changes in our community. We don't need the help of other people.
Hospitals was being created in the midst of him dying at 21 years old.
Hospitals being created.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They wound up naming a couple of like healthcare centers after some of the parties of the Black Panther.
That's amazing. That's good.
Do we want to? I have a question. So we're going to leave with a question. We want you to go watch the movie and give us your thoughts on the movie, whether you liked it. Did it ignite anything? Were you enlightened by anything? Sorry for the spoiler alert, but I didn't give a lot away because it's a documentary anyway, but it's just acted in a movie. So when it comes to like approaches, because I referenced him as Brother Malcolm, are you closer to like the Brother Malcolm approach by any means necessary, or the Martin Luther King, let's just all get along, the peaceful, anti-violent?
I am LPOR, the least path of resistance. I am the peaceful, non-violent approach, kind of the Christian way approach. Okay. That is my belief, and that's the way I try to be.
Okay.
It's just when things are happening to you, or people coming at you, or injustices happening, I don't think you should just turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I think you need to stand up for yourself and be Brother Malcolm. Because if you don't, then people will do whatever, say whatever. Injustices will continue to occur and walk over you, and you can't allow that to happen.
See, I'm in the middle. I'm partially Malcolm and I'm partially Martin.
Yeah,
by any means necessary, but I may not turn the other cheek.
I don't think so.
I don't know if I'm gonna turn the other cheek. No. I wish I had it in me to turn the other cheek, because Martin Luther, he was stabbed, like beaten. But y'all don't do that to Malcolm X.
You know you can't. That famous picture with him holding the gun by the door, holding his. And looking out the window.
To Malcolm X, so it's just like, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. They wound up still,
That was the title of our first episode. What more could we do? Because if you do this, you're done. You do this, you're done. What?
Martin had his hand. He had his hands up and but it was a black woman that stabbed Martin Luther King. But we're gonna get into that. White people beat him up, but it was a sister that stabbed him.
Lord have mercy.
But
your own people.
Help us. So what's your approach? So you
I'm in the middle
Martin.
too.
Okay.
I'm in the middle. It's a little bit of both. Sometimes you got to be nonviolent, and then sometimes
by any means necessary.
Yeah. So man, you're down the middle too, right?
I'm down the middle.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Millennium Minded Podcast with Marquise and Gia.
Yeah, this has been episode 20. Review of Judas and the Black Messiah.
And some more history that you probably didn't know about, because they didn't teach you and teach us in our history books and lessons. So we hope you learned something. Go check out that movie. Subscribe to HBO Max. And then cancel. Make sure you cancel.
And then cancel. Don't get HBO.
$14.99.
Don't get them your money.
No, don't do that.
Read watch the documentary, or buy a book by a black author to support that.
Ooh.
If you want to.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
So before we leave, Marquise, repeat after me. I am a revolutionary.
I am a revolutionary.
I am a revolutionary.
Peace.